Have you ever wanted someone's attention so badly that you ignored all the warning signs? That's a terrifying idea at the heart of Obsession, an indie horror film that's been generating a ton of buzz since its festival run. After finally seeing it, I can honestly say that this was one of the most enjoyable and surprisingly relatable movies I've watched this year. And while it has horror elements, what really stayed with me wasn't the scares, it was the emotional truth behind the story. This low-budget indie horror film was picked up after a successful festival run and has been earning strong reactions from both critics and audiences. After hearing all the positive buzz, I decided to check it out myself. I saw this movie maybe like about a month ago now, but I'm glad I did get to see it. I'd give Obsession an 8 out of 10. What immediately worked for me was how relatable the main character is. The story follows a guy who wishes for a girl he likes to fall in love with him. As a guy, I found that incredibly easy to connect with. Most people have experienced having feelings for someone who just doesn't feel the same way. The movie takes that fantasy and turns it into a nightmare. The main character suffers from a bit of nice guy syndrome, and a great book, if you've ever kind of dealt with this people pleasing, but you're just not being very sincere, but you just want to please people all the time, but you're not being your true self kind of thing. He's constantly trying to please people, constantly seeking validation, and desperately wants this girl's attention. There were moments where I was actually uncomfortable watching him because I recognized some of those behaviors because I've done them myself. That's what makes the movie work. Instead of giving us a perfect hero, it gives us a flawed person who makes a selfish decision and then he has to live with the consequences. The performances are also fantastic. I didn't know much about the cast going in, but both lead actors completely sold me. The actress playing the obsessed girl is especially incredible. Her name is Indy Navarrete. Once the wish takes effect, she becomes completely devoted to the main character, but the movie hints that her original self is still trapped beneath the surface. There are moments where she suddenly screams, twitches, freezes, or seems to briefly break through whatever is controlling her. Those scenes aren't overly reliant on special effects, but they are genuinely unsettling because of how committed the performance is. Another thing I loved is that the movie isn't simply about good versus evil. The protagonist isn't entirely a hero. Even when he realizes something is terribly wrong, he keeps going back and forth. Part of him wants to do the right thing and helping Indy Navarrete's character, but another part still wants what he wished for. That internal conflict felt much more realistic than the typical movie hero who instantly sacrifices everything for the greater good. People are messy. People make selfish choices. Honestly, while watching it, I kept thinking the story would make a fantastic Broadway play, something in the New York City Theater Row, definitely. This movie relies more on performances, dialogue, and tension than giant CGI spectacles. Most of the effects could be created practically on a stage, and the story is strong enough to carry an audience without needing blockbuster visuals. I did have a couple of issues with the movie. First, there's a secondary romantic subplot involving another girl in the friend group, and I just wasn't fully sold on her chemistry with the main character. Let me bring up her picture here. This character here. The movie tells us there's something there, but I never really felt it. Second, there's a customer service phone call about the wish itself that initially confused me. After listening to an interview with the director, I understood what was happening, and honestly, it made the scene even creepier. But during the movie, I felt like that moment could have been explained a little bit more clearly. Overall, Obsession is a great example of what indie horror can achieve when it focuses on strong characters rather than massive budgets. It's funny, uncomfortable, emotional, creepy, and surprisingly relatable. If you ever wish someone would notice you, if you ever struggle to let go of a crush, or if you enjoy horror that explores human flaws instead of just jump scares, I think you'll find a lot to enjoy here. For me, Obsession once again gets an 8 out of 10. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.